What's going on, everybody? This is Chris Classic dropping a live car vlog as I'm going to work. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. If nobody tells you that God loves you, Christ loves you, and I love you as well. And I don't say that if you're just because you may be going through something or just because life may be doing good. You know, regardless of what's going on in life, follow Christ, love God, love your neighbors, pray for them. You know, loving somebody does not mean that you agree with what they do with their life, but you are there to show that you care. You know, discipline is a form of love. Judging is also a form of love, especially if you're judging righteously. So never forget that. It's in the Bible. Make sure you subscribe to the Take It Home podcast where I talk about professional wrestling topics. And I put in my matches as classic out for a professional wrestler of 13 years. Make sure you also subscribe to C3 Ultimate Wrestling. That is me and my wife's professional wrestling company. A lot of stuff. We're trying to line some stuff up. I can't promise anything right now, but we are very excited for what the future holds. Praise God. You get to watch some of the matches from our last show, the 11th hour. So make sure Monday will be the Team C3 versus Team Board Drop. We'll look at the previous matches that we've had so far from the 11th hour. Tony Thunder and the Cobra. The triple threat between Jay Leon, TDG, and Gustavo. Amina Belmont versus Renee Van Peebles for the C3 Ultimate Wrestling Women's Championship. See some great stuff. So, and also previous matches from C3 Ultimate Wrestling history. All right, I wanted to talk about AEW and how this is a perfect time for them to improve their product. Now or never. I think this is the olive branch. This is it. God bless you. What's going on, Raphael? This is the perfect time for AEW to improve their product. With WWE, with their skyrocketing ticket prices, with their stuff just going a lot of stuff, they're doing business with people in areas that people are not familiar with. This is the perfect time for AEW to thrive, to do great and stuff like that. I cannot sit here and say what they are currently producing and putting out is something that is going to help them. It's not. They have been doing the same thing almost since they first started. I would say like when Punk came, that was like the high point of AEW. Because it was a big moment. Everybody was taking pictures behind the scenes and all out. And, oh, well, wrestling's winning. And we're doing this stuff. And everybody is doing that. Both of them on today. Right, I agree. They are airing today. So, you know, this isn't new. And I don't think this is going to be the last time they're going to air stuff. But there was a time at the beginning of AEW where a lot of people were excited because they hated what WWE was putting out. They were still watching it. Key element to remember too. Some people were watching it. However, some people stopped watching WWE. Heck, some people stopped watching WWE when Punk left. That's how much of a following CM Punk had. Some people stopped watching the product because they were big fans of CM Punk. But still, they had pockets of potential. And then it was rehashed storylines, stuff that made no sense. The wrong people winning championships. The people that they were wrestle that great. So they are still in that situation ever since Punk left. And people are going to be like, oh, well, Punk didn't create AEW. You are right. He did not. But he definitely helped AEW when he was there. Regardless if you like him or don't like him, they were getting a lot of views. They were getting a lot of ratings. And I like to say that. People love to say, oh, well, it's not about ratings and the demographic, only when it goes to their argument. Because eventually it went from WWE is killing AEW in ratings to where AEW is getting the demographic. I forgot the demo. Because, you know, Chris Jericho was talking about the demo guy. Stupid stuff like that. And then all of a sudden fans started talking about demos. Oh, well, the 18 to 54 demo, that's the only one that matters. The other demos don't matter. Whatever. But I'm just saying, AEW right now, especially with the skyrocketing prices of tickets and everything to even go to a wrestling event from WWE, it's very, very expensive. AEW, or Tony Khan has talked about, hey, we're going to make sure we have family-friendly prices. We have reasonable prices so people can go enjoy a wrestling show. That is good so far, Tony. That is good so far. The bad part is your product is not family-friendly. will not be bringing my kids, my youngest ones. I'm not taking them to an AEW show. Y'all curse, y'all somebody bleed, and the women's matches don't be women's matches. I literally just saw Scott Blue and Tony Storm. What's going on, Arshawn? The champ is here. I literally just saw some clips between Tony Storm and Scott Blue's match. They had some kind of hardcore match. I don't know what it was called. Scott Blue was like stapling Tony's breast and then her middle part, her body, her feminine body part. How was that family friendly? And this is what y'all do in a lot of these women matches. A lot of the women's matches, y'all have a lot of blood, y'all have a lot of staples, barbed wire, because y'all want to promote that women can wrestle as great as the men can. The problem is, y'all do this a lot. All right, I get it. Women can bleed, women can do this, and women can do that. Women's wrestling, yay! I'm not bringing my family to that. So for Tony to even turn around and be like, hey, we got reasonable prices so families can come see it, I'm not taking my family to see that. You have to improve your product. What's going on, Eric? Just left a live stream where a guy ejected me. Oh man, that's sad. That is definitely crazy. I don't know what's wrong with people. But still, you're promoting, what's going on? You're promoting a family-friendly prices from a product that isn't family-friendly. Like you call your fans sickos. That sounds horrible. And some of them don't mind it. To each their own. We're all sickos and blah, 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 blah. No, you have to improve your product. Moxley and Darby bleeding every day and stabbing each other with weapons and all of this other stuff. How is that friendly for family? How is that family friendly? My daughter ain't gonna want to watch that. My daughter is not going to watch that. Why would I take my family to that? So you have to improve your product. Kids could possibly like Darby Allin because he has face paint and stuff like that, and kids like that kind of stuff. What they won't like is him getting stabbed or him stabbing somebody or whatever like that. He has a skateboard. Kids like skateboards. Like, y'all have the potential, but the people that are doing stuff is crazy. John Moxley, you know, some people still remember him as Dean Ambrose, but he wanted to differentiate himself from that character so bad. He's still the same way. He's just bald-headed, and now he can do stuff with bleeding and stabbing people. They can learn self-defense from it. Hey, T-Stone. Shout out to you, Ethan. But still, what I'm saying is, I do think that, like, they are very stagnant when it comes to certain things. I think that a lot of people who still watch it, they watch it because they enjoy it. And some people just don't like anything that WWE has put out. So even when WWE did improve their product, a lot of people was like, nah, I'm going to still work with AEW because WWE is going to drop the ball. Henceforth, this is what people can say is dropping the ball as far as it is concerned. Them talking about WWE, I'm referring to talking about they're going to drop prices and stuff like that is laughable and disrespectful because we know we're not going to. AEW actually going up against going against WWE with ticket with same things is something that WWE has done to them. Tony promotes they have more reasonable prices for their tickets is a guys. And that's the problem, is that some of these people, they aren't that great on the microphone. So those are the ones that need to bounce off of Pause No Diddy, somebody that's great on the microphone. I think the Hurt Syndicate would have been great in the main event scene somehow or doing something. MJF had his pockets and stuff, but I felt like they kept pulling the curtain back from him so long. They kept they kept pulling him back besides of injuries and stuff. Even Hangman Adam Page at some points, people like Hangman Adam Page. They like Adam Page for certain things. But I do think that they're not pushing the right stars to elevate them, and I also don't think that their product is family friendly. Cool, hey, tickets are cheap. And then you look at the product and you look at women stapling each other with body parts with staplers and stuff and bleeding and licking each other's foreheads and stuff like that. How is that family friendly? How? How? See, that's like the bad thing about the whole situation, right? Is that you can sit here and be like, okay, well, our tickets aren't even, they're like a quarter of the prices for WWE tickets. Why don't you guys come see it? And then when people say no, that's bad. For example, you guys know I love examples. The Sega Dreamcast, right? A lot of people miss the Sega Dreamcast. They love it. They liked it for the most part. But the problem was the PS2 was around the corner, and the PS2 was CD player, DVD player. It was a whole bunch of stuff that a lot of people was excited for, and it was more expensive than the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast, to compete with it, decided to do price cuts on the Sega Dreamcast, right? Because it didn't play DVDs, so they cut the price for the Dreamcast. What happened? People still didn't buy the Dreamcast, so it was even a waste of time to even do a price cut because people was waiting and anticipating for the PS2. That's where AEW can have problems, right? That'll be a crazy situation because you guys have cheaper prices. One of my homies, he went to All In Texas, and basically a WrestleMania ticket he had, for one WrestleMania ticket, he had tickets. I think he had certain tour access. He had his hotel and his flight. All of that basically within that one ticket. I think it was even cheaper than that. That's bananas. That is bananas. Appreciate you, Arshawn. That's bananas. So you are at a point where you have tickets that are very, very reasonable. I do want to go to an AEW show. I do want to. Whenever I have the time, I do want to go. I don't mind supporting wrestling and stuff like that, but also I want great product. I want great wrestling. I don't want to just go because I want WWE to die or I want WWE to improve. I want to go to enjoy the show. But when you sit here and this is what you promote people cursing, you promote blood, you promote all of this stuff. They don't say attitude era, but what they're trying to do is they're trying to emulate and simulate and duplicate bars, the attitude era, because a lot of people, I want the attitude era back. That's like the only thing Tony listens to when it comes to the fans. Oh, well, we're gonna bring the attitude era back. The attitude era was great as far as attitude, not wrestling. Look, to me, one of the best eras was the Ruthless Aggression era, because it was talking and it was also attitude and it was also wrestling, right? So you cannot emulate that because it's a different time. A lot of us who are fans of the Attitude Era, we have 2-3 kids. So that's 3 eyes. That's 3 times the viewers if it's different televisions and stuff like that. You have to do certain things. AEW had its pockets and potential to do things, but they still have to increase and improve their product. They still have to. Great, reasonable prices. Like, let me sit here and type AEW. Like, oh, okay. Like, parents do these kind of things. Hey, WWE, they are so expensive. Let me see if there's something local, or let me see what's going on. Oh, AEW. I saw a commercial on TBS. Let me look up some stuff on YouTube. Then you seeing you seeing women, and I'm saying it because people will be like, Chris, why are you saying this about women? Because that's the thing that y'all promoting. This is what y'all showing on y'all social media. This is what y'all looking at. We looking at Tony Storm, and I like Tony Storm's character and stuff like that. But Tony has had so many hardcore matches. Scott Blue has had so many hardcore matches. Thunder Rosa, when Britt Baker was wrestling, all these women have these hardcore matches. They don't equal nothing. They equal no championships. They equal no elevation. It's just a lot of blood just to show that women can do it. On top of that, Moxley, the joke, especially for the past few years, was that Moxley always bleeds. When him and CM Punk was feuding with each other, CM Punk said, hey, I would fight you, but I'm scared you're going to bleed all over me. Because he bled every match. And he'd bleed off of stupid stuff. I remember that year, Forbidden Door. I forgot who he went against. Was it Tanahashi? I think so. Tanahashi gave him a clothesline. Moxley left the ring, went under the ring, came back, busted open on his forehead. How do you get busted open from a freaking clothesline? How? What are we doing here, man? What are we doing here? They did that Death Rider storyline, and it low-key was a slow death for AEW because nobody cared about it. Nobody cared about the Death Rider storyline. What was the point of it? Oh, we're going to act like we're smothering Bryan Danielson with a plastic bag, and then we're going to win the belt, Moxley, and put the belt in a bag. You never put a belt in a bag. You dang near forgot he was champion. Oh, we're taking over. For what? You had no reason to take over the company. And then to work with the Young Bucks who own the company is crazy. Well, partially own it at a time is stupid to me. Come on, man. You got to improve your product. I think when you had guys like your Ricky Starks and even like Ethan Page and even Wardlow before he got injured again, you had guys that could help you with the company. You had pillars. Those pillars started crumbling because they either weren't consistent or they were troublemakers and stuff like that. Y'all had all this potential in the world, but then y'all want to talk about blood and gore. You know, y'all big cage match is called Blood and Guts, and somebody's going to bleed. I'm just saying. People will pay more to get more of what they want. Yes. Listen. Like when we do C3 stuff and we sell it, like we say family-friendly event. And even then, I'm going to be very transparent. People scratch their heads with that because some people see professional wrestling as a form of violence. And as a parent myself, I definitely understand what they're saying. But I encourage them to come see the show or just look it up and see where I'm coming from with that. You get what I'm saying? I like it. It's going to be great family-friendly stuff. It's going to get people connected to it and stuff like that. So I definitely get it. But when you have a product that somebody bleeds all the time and there's always cursing, why would I want my kids to see something where people are saying S-H-I-T, B-I-T-C-H, saying the F-bomb if they can? Why would I want them to see that? Why would I want them to see that? Even I don't care if the tickets was free. Why would I want to go to a free show with my kids and everybody's cursing and stuff? Yep, they'll copy it for real. So, what's going on, Tristan? What's going on, Amanda? So, I don't know, man. Like, to me, this is the time, and hopefully they do. This is the time where they should improve their product. Make some great stories. Make stuff that people can get behind. Listen to what your crowd is chanting. We hurt people. We hurt people. The Hurt Syndicate. We have a whole bunch of stuff. There's things that people can definitely get behind as far as character works and stuff like that, and wrestlers and stuff. You know, you rehashing a whole bunch of stuff for no reason. Nah, you need a staple. Nah, I'm not going to repeat what you just said, Arshawn, but we definitely don't need those kind of matches. And it's not even just AEW. The thing is, in the independents, when women do these kind of matches, that goes viral. And a lot of people like those kind of matches. And they're trying to translate it to AEW. And AEW is not an independent. They are a major league company. So they need to start doing major league things instead of independent things. And I'll say that on that note. I am at work, so I do have to go in. So thank you guys for rocking with me. I hope you guys have a great day. Shout out to you, Gabby O. Let me know what you guys think. I'll respond to the comments. This is Chris Classic. Let's take it home.